Two teams on the brink of elimination, Lakers and the Blazers. Let's chase or fade some basketball bets with DraftKings contributors Julian, Edlow, and Kenny Ducey, and Rotowire NBA editor Nick Whalen. Denver, as a big plus 170 underdog, has the chance to close out the series in Portland. Chase or fade, the Nuggets get it done. Kenny.
I think that the Nuggets lose this game. I think the Nuggets lose this game by a lot, Emerson. And the reason is that too much can go right for Portland. You remember CJ McCollum last game? He was miserable shooting the basketball. Jusuf Nurkic hasn't fouled out all season long. He averaged a career low in fouls per 36 minutes, and he's fouled out 3 times in this series. I think it's impossible that he fouls out a 4th time and gets in foul trouble again. I think that as long as he's out there, the Blazers are the better team. I just think you either have him playing better, you have CJ McCollum bringing his A game, and the games that he's played well, the Blazers have won. Or simply put, the Nuggets could just continue to shoot the ball poorly in Portland. They have not been themselves on the road here. And guys like Austin Rivers shooting 48% from 3 just haven't had that same magic in Portland. So I just think the combination, you get 2 of those 3 things to happen. This game is a 10-point win for Portland. I think I'm not only thinking the Blazers win, I'm laying the points.
Okay, Jules, do you like the 3 seed closing it out or the 6 seed to make it a 7-game series?
It's a lot of numbers, Emerson. I like the 6 seed to make it a 7-game series, like Kenny. This just has the feel of a 7-game series. It opened up a pick'em for a reason, the series I'm talking about. And like Kenny said, we saw kind of that last game, how close everything was. That was kind of the defining game of the series. And one of those games in the series that you think the winner of that game probably has the upper hand in the series. And Denver would obviously be a slight home favorite in a game 7. Damian Lillard did everything he could to steal that one on the road, obviously. But like Kenny said, that's one of those games where you get nothing out of McCollum. Not nothing. You get well below average out of McCollum. Nurkic fouls out. Coming home, this just has the feel of one that swings back towards Portland. There's series that you can have a feel on, a pulse for. This, I think, is one of them that has gone the way people expected it to go. Then you have one like the freaking Clippers where the road team wins every game, and I think we're all in kind of shock how that's going. This one, I would be stunned if Portland doesn't get this game at home. The only thing that I don't like is just how much Lillard had to exude in those 2 overtimes, but he's going to have it. He'll make sure that he has it in this game. So, yeah, I think that Portland gets this one.
Yeah, it was a franchise record 55 points, 17 of his team's 19 points in the 2 overtimes, too. So that's a good point by you, Jules. Nick, who are you backing tonight in this one?
I feel the same way as these 2 guys. I mean, not only did Jusuf Nurkic foul out in 24 minutes in that game, he also had 6 turnovers in those 24 minutes. I mean, the Blazers supporting cast was doing everything it could to prevent Damian Lillard from single-handedly winning that game. And Dame didn't even get a shot inside the final 3 minutes of the second overtime. And part of that was due to Denver finally starting to bring a double at him. But, 2 missed dunks down the stretch for Robert Covington. Carmelo Anthony missed a couple huge shots. Obviously, McCollum stepped out of bounds in a key spot. He didn't have a great night. So I think we're obviously not going to get that level of a performance from Lillard. That was the highest postseason game score in the history of Basketball Reference. So chances are he's not going to replicate that in game 6. But pretty much everyone around him should be able to raise their game. And Julian's right that maybe there is some concern that, after playing almost, 50 plus minutes in that game, Lillard had to basically pull out all the stops and exude as much energy as possible. But Nikola Jokic had to do the same thing. Austin Rivers had to do the same thing. Michael Porter had to do the same thing. And I thought Dame still looked really good into that second overtime. Whereas, Jokic had another great game as well, but he looked gassed to me at the end of that game, was settling for a lot of long contested 2s. Made some great passes down the stretch to open things up. But to me, he's the guy that I'm maybe a little more worried about coming out slow in this game 6 tonight. So I don't know that I'll go as far as to say it's like a 10 to 15 point blowout, but I do think, the pendulum swings back and we go to a game 7.
Well, the total in this one, 227 and a half. I believe it was up to 228 and a half and already back down to 228 now on the DraftKings Sportsbook. So chase or fade that this game hits the over, Jules.
I will chase that this game goes over. I think the number is going down because it's a high number, and maybe we see some tired legs early after kind of a marathon game and these two teams kind of getting to know each other well. But Portland's defense isn't all that good. I would say Denver has the advantage defensively, but the Blazers have just been finding ways to keep up offensively. So that means that Denver is going to have to keep up. And outside of that one game, the game 4 win in Portland, that Denver scored 95 points. These games have mostly been going way over. So unless Denver has one of those kind of hangover games on the road like they did in game 4, I just think we know Portland's going to score, and Portland doesn't have a very good defense. So I think Denver is going to be able to keep up for the most part, and this will be like the majority of the other games. I'm basically betting on this to be like the games we've seen all along versus the kind of game 4 outlier where the Nuggets just didn't have it on the road.
Okay, Nick, you want to chase the over?
Yeah, I will. And it is a high number. It's 20 points higher than the other game tonight. But like Julian said, 4 or 5 games have gone pretty easily over this number so far. And the exception was when the Denver offense no-showed game 4 and they only put up 95. Portland held up its end of the bargain in that game, putting up, I think it was 115. The only thing that does make me question it is what we just talked about with the first question is everybody going to have tired legs after, you basically have 2 teams that have pretty tight rotations, playing a ton of guys heavy minutes. So to me, that could go either way. Everybody could be a little sluggish, or it could kind of offset because both teams are in the same boat. But for me, at the end of the day, you kind of just have to go with how this series has flowed so far. And, the numbers dictate that this one probably goes over.